Even if you're not watching the new HBO series, The Last of Us, you should still probably see this episode. So I've been watching the new show. It's based off that video game by the same name, and so far it's really great. But what really inspired me to make this video was episode 3. And it is basically a self-contained gay short film. If you don't want to watch the other 2 episodes and just want to watch this by itself, you totally can. And all you really need to know is that it takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, and a plague has sort of destroyed society, and it exists in that sort of genre of like episodes of TV shows that are so good that they sort of are elevated and exist by themselves. Like I'm thinking like Black Mirror's San Junipero, or the Fly episode from Breaking Bad. This episode stars Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett. And Murray Bartlett is also in the HBO series Looking. He played Dom, which was my favorite character on that show. But he always brings this like instant likability to every role that he's in. What this episode really reminded me of was the opening scene in the Pixar movie Up. If you ever wanted a gay version of that, it's basically this. It's the depiction of love over the course of time. But I think the touch of genius was in casting Nick Offerman in this role, because he's totally playing against type. I mean, if you look up testosterone in the dictionary, you could probably see Nick Offerman's face. And that's what's great, is he's playing against stereotype. You wouldn't think a gay character would look like that or act like that, but he is. But also in the episode, there are sexual situations, so it's good to see those types of bodies depicted on screen as well. The only part that really kind of took me out is that there's a song later in the episode by Max Richter. It's called like The Nature of Daylight. And I mean, aside from the fact that I've heard it a lot in different types of media, I always associate it with Elizabeth Moss, because the official video for it has this very beautiful video of her, and I always think of her when I hear that. So a big criticism so far from what I've been reading on this episode is that it deviates from the main storyline, and I think they're totally missing the point. I mean, you need these episodes to give a bigger scope of the emotional impact. I mean, human beings are not good at, statistics and numbers and stuff like that. So you need these microcosm stories to really show the macrocosm effect. This anecdotal story of these 2 men really shows the impact that this plague has done on societies, and we're able to broaden the scope of the world and deepen it. And I mean, there's a lot of homophobia too. I mean, as gay people, I think we are in our bubbles, and we don't realize that there's a lot of homophobia that still exists in the world. And if you want to pierce that little bubble, just read any sort of comments on this episode on social media. I just think it's really funny, because heterosexuals for thousands of years have been pushing their agenda and their media down LGBT people's throats. And now we just want a little seat, a little piece of the pie. I don't know. Anyways, this is a really beautiful episode, and I think if you just want to watch a gay short film where it's 2 older men, I would give this episode a shot.